Ryan Coogler has been talking about the original script for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
that was actually pretty cool.
Mm.
Um,
I like how both versions, in a well, I say like in a very loose sense, right?
mm,
The circumstances that led to the rewrite of the original script, it was going to be about grief regardless.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Like that theme's still here and it still runs through the movie. It's just had
it's
to
just
have
That
been
and
tweaked.
Namor.
it's
Namor
just
was also
Name what?
still
Yeah, yeah,
involved.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just to me. Well, I haven't seen the rewritten version, but the original version was very interesting to me, where it was T'Challa dealing with the 5 lost years and
Mm.
what he potentially could have done to make things better. That's
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
that's that's
because a
but
lot of people had this theory, including myself, because within 5 years, if you look at him, like if there was one character ever since the popularity, they were pushing M'Baku, right? So you would assume that the tension of M'Baku and T'Challa would
yeah.
have been even higher, and they would
well,
have to they would have to like reunite to like fight
well,
Namor or something like that.
it is because for 5 years that since he was gone and he was brought back, it's just the city of Wakanda would have had to move on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
since he's back, most people would say, "Oh, why would he be king again since he hasn't been here for 5 years?" And they had to reorganize and build back up with everyone else that was left. And had that sense of grief and loss with the child trying to figure out
and
what's his
Shuri
place
was
in the world.
gone too. Shuri was gone.
Yeah, trying to figure out what's his place in the world now, since his own people seemingly don't want him around. That's what intrigued me the most about the
Mm.
original spin on this.
This is the interesting thing, right? Because I know they said they're not going to recast it, but
Yeah,
you could recast it. You could
yeah,
quite easily make the third movie like just the second half of what the original was going to be.
yeah. Yeah, you can. It's just for the most part, from my personal point of view, is that for the cast and crew, it was just too soon because you can't get rid of someone like T'Challa.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I'm still on the fence of like actually still not recasting T'Challa, and they even came out like these are recent interviews too. Like I think it was yesterday. It was like literally the whole plot is to tell you that even Wakanda Forever is that we can still is like we're not moving on from Black Panther. Black Panther will always be there. We just have to put T'Challa to rest. It's as simple as
Mm.
that. We don't need T'Challa. Like people need to understand, it's the damn mantle. It's mantle.
Uh,
Black Panther.
uh, Unfortunately, it is a mantle, but the story
What's
of the
the
Black
but?
Panther, the story of Black Panther is T'Challa.
But
All
we already have Shuri and so many other
no,
characters coming into the
that's
future.
the whole thing though. Shuri was never the Black Panther. She did try, but she was
But
never
this
the
is the
Black Panther.
MCU.
Yeah, that was the whole point, is because and that's the whole thing about getting into this, is that for other like for Caucasian heroes, they can get replaced, and it gives that
See,
sense of that
see,
of
that's the thing though. As someone that is, black, I
I,
can.
I am also, and
All right,
I'm just giving a view of it, is that you rarely get people of color or from different superheroes, and to have certain have to say to certain fan bases that, unlike others, your heroes are not eternal. That doesn't sit right with a lot of fans, that they just now got T'Challa, and as unfortunate as it is, with the circumstances, you're basically telling them that he is replaceable, because also from a story standpoint, that we have his sister to replace him, even with the story narrative saying that there will always be a Black Panther, but the people that try to replace T'Challa can't live up to him, because for whatever reason, even his sister Shuri is not a great leader, and for all intents and purposes, is not a great Black Panther. Even by the Panther god Bast says that she's not a great Panther.
but that's the thing. We're still only we're pulling from a lot from comic lore. We still haven't even seen what the MCU has done.
Most of the comic lore is revolves around T'Challa, and And what essentially might happen is that they are going to replace T'Challa with Shuri, and they're gonna have to rewrite a lot of things that involve Shuri.
Exactly.
That's the whole problem with it, is that you're replacing all of T'Challa's history with Shuri, and not having Shuri's history.
You still have a mixture of both.
Not really. You're just basically inserting Shuri into T'Challa's place, because T'Challa has over like 50 to 60 years. Most, I think, around 50 years of being Black Panther, and all the stories revolving around T'Challa. And I think Shuri only has around maybe 5, 6 years, and it's not very good at best. And plus, she also has another superhero mantle as well. So yeah, that's why it's so complex, and it's so really hard to go one way or another, because T'Challa's been at the center for so long, and that's why what a lot of T'Challa fans is saying, like most of them are understanding, they get it, but to say that we can have him put out of the MCU, it just seems wrong.
Well, we're gonna have to completely agree to disagree, because I'm on the no side. That's for sure. That as simple as that. Because we both could give up as many good points as we want. We could agree to disagree.
We can agree to disagree. I'm just putting.
I know there's always a counteractive, Tristan. There's always a counteractive with you.
That's what I don't know. I'm just saying, it's like T'Challa has like over 50
There's always a but
compared to 5. That's what I'm just saying. It's what,
because we have the Wakanda series happening too. That's been confirmed. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting where that's going to take.
Yeah, that's good. I'm just saying, it's just that's the reason why, because people think that you can have T'Challa out of there and still tell the stories, and I'm like, T'Challa's been there for over 50 years. Most of the stories revolve around him, and it's like that's why I said I'm on the fence, but that's why I'm just putting it out there why people are trying to say you can recast him. So that's what. And for Benny,
after watching Wakanda Forever, let's see if you're gonna have the same answer.
No, I'm probably gonna have the same answer there about being T'Challa. Because that's what I said. As good as Shuri is, it's usually about T'Challa. And for Benny saying about his son, I'm not so sure.
We don't even know if there's a son involved. Is there?
No,
even
but that's part of there's been a rumor for about a year in it or so that he's going to have a son with Nakia, and it's going to be called T'Challa.
In the comics, he has a son, but that's from an alternate universe, and that's like when T'Challa's like 45 to 50.
Yeah, but it's where this is an alternate. I suppose it's not actually an alternate universe. It's a different version of.
Yeah, it's a different version, because what Feige says goes, and this is 616.
Yep. But not the 616. It's a 616, because you can have multiple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I don't want them to go the. Oh, here's T'Challa the second. Like, I don't want. Let's wait 15 years for him to be in the Avengers Academy. Let's do this. Like, no, don't do that.
It's T'Challa the second. I'd rather take a variant of T'Challa the second.
Yeah, because you know what they'll do. They'll be like, "Oh, look at the baby! Like, oh, Secret Wars, he's a man. Like, you're just gonna completely run past everything." Did it though? Did it actually work for Lion King? No.
Kovu and Lion.
No one knows Kovu. Don't bring.
Wow, come on.
Don't embarrass yourself on your third show. Come on now.
Wow.
Though I have watched that movie and it's actually quite good. No. Anyway. Yeah. The whole son angle, no. Recasting, I'm on the fence. Do whatever you want. I think people are entitled to think he should not be recast. I think Marvel are entitled to not recast him. I think people are entitled to want him back, but that's neither here nor there. I just hope Wakanda Forever is good. I'm expecting a lot of crap to come out about it afterwards, because this argument's going to kick off again, and going to be a lot worse,
it's,
obviously, because now the
it's,
movie's here.
it's a never-ending thing, especially with people wanting the Black Panther in more media now than ever. I mean, like you could even see like people got mad, technically a little mad when they found out about the Captain America Black Panther game, and they were mad that it wasn't T'Challa, it was his grandfather.
Okay, now people's just being silly.
No,
I was gonna say that's such a totally such a totally different situation and context.
I know
like,
that, but
of course it's not
going
going to be T'Challa.
No, well, no, it's more along the lines as like, why couldn't it just be a Black Panther game and not have a duo game of a Black Panther?
I mean, I get that, right? But at the same time, can people at least like wait to see literally anything about that game? Like, people might have had a really cool idea for a cat. Like, if that was Wolverine in Captain America, no one would have said a damn thing.
It's more along the lines that if it's for the example you put for Wolverine, it's because Wolverine's been everywhere. Like he's been.
I mean, it's a fair point.
Point
it's
in
a
the
fair
90s,
point.
he was like like in the 90s. Wolverine was in about over 100 books, so he was on everyone's team. That's why people don't care anymore. He's like, oh, you gonna stick Wolverine in there? Okay.
But like, it's a World War II game with Cap and a Black Panther. Like, I get it. I get why you'd want a solo Black Panther game. I absolutely do. But there's obviously been an idea there, and Marvel had to have signed off on it. So
yes,
I look forward to seeing what that game's about. But...
Yeah.
All right, to end this topic off, the movie is out. What is it out before we record next, or is it out after?
Is it the 10th?
It's the 11th, right? 11th.
I seen it on the Thursday, so
right. So it comes out the Friday. So, I'm seeing it on the Friday anyway.
Yeah, I'm seeing it Friday morning.
Right. What do you think how much do you reckon it's going to make? Opening weekend.
Opening weekend.
Do you reckon the predictions of 10 million less than Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness?
I think accurate? It makes more.
Maybe.
I think it's making more.
I think it's a maybe because like
I'm gonna say it over 100 million opening. See?
Really? That's what for the weekend?
Yes.
You're just gonna go over 100 million. You're not gonna give it.
just going with it.
Yeah, I think
this movie's gonna come out, man. A 300 million opening weekend. Ricardo's like, "See, I told you."
Yeah, I think it's gonna be about 10 less and Multiverse of Madness, but I could be wrong. It's just.
So you reckon at the 170 mark? No.
Yeah.
Wow. That's. See, here's me thinking it's going to hit more like 190, 200.
That's the thing. I said it can go, for me. It can go either way. It really just depends.
I'm gonna go 200 because I lowballed the first one.
I did
by
too,
a
but
lot.
I did too. It was like, but I'm just cautiously optimistic about this one. And
yeah. I'm going 200. I've learned my lesson.
Especially when you got people calling it the
like
best.
150. No.
When people calling it like the best thing to happen in Phase 4, sadly they are actually marketing like this is the send off for Chadwick Boseman as well. Namor is pushing for Latin culture, Mexican culture, and when it comes to Latin people, they run heavy. If they get their love and respect, they'll go to that damn movie.
Yeah, but Namor, he ain't no hero.
Well, I'm saying
you
don't have to be
people
hero.
saying that this is just race war the movie.
Technically,
so
if you want to go that way, if you want to go that way, technically,
it's like, I never thought of that. God damn, like,
Tristan's in California. He's like, oh yes, I seen it every time in my local Walmart.
Technically, yeah.
If this was New York don't even really have that.
I've seen the memes, and I'm like, technically, if you want to get down to his base, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's where Namor tries to tell them, hey, if we team up, we can rule the world. We're not about that. All right, then.
Damn, that movie better end well over there. don't want to hear.
Because that's
Tristan gonna be like,
because now thinking about it, that's at that base of aspect. Technically, it's Namor saying, "Hey, if we team up, we can rule the world." And then Wakanda's like, "Nah, we ain't about that." And then Namor's like, "Bet," and that's when the war comes out. So yeah.
y'all gonna be fighting in the movie theater. You're gonna be like, yo, guys in the group chat. He was like, there's something was happening in the bathroom. What's happening? Someone got jumped.
Yeah, because it's like because for Namor, he's like it's a little weird because MCU Namor is a little bit different than a comics Namor.
Yes,
He's
like
a
majority of the MCU.
Well, I'm just saying it's just because people are like, oh, this is what Namor always has been like. Not really.
I love when you get that. Like they've made a massive change. It's like, oh, it was always going to be like, yeah, no. It's like, no.
Yeah,
Nah.
I'm like,
Just
that's not Namor. That's like
cease.
technically that's not Namor. And it's like he loves his people and all that. And I'm like, well, he was his first hero, but more anti-hero. And when people saw, oh, he like technically loved his people, like his people hated him, and he hated them back for being like multiple different things and not being a part of him. And he's like, oh well, he loved being who he was. And like, if you go back to the like World War II era, yeah, because he didn't like being associated with humans, or because of his color and his overall
You
look.
ain't blue, get out of here. No?
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It's like the only person that like actually liked him down in Atlantis was his mother.
I'm going to
And-
assume you're going to get a hint of that in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
I know the trailers and spots and
yeah.
stuff haven't really talked about that because they're hiding a lot, but I reckon you're going to get that. As well.
And that him being there, hopefully you have like a different kind of version of him, accepting that he looks like a certain ethnicity for humans, because that's the topic that came up in the comics as well, very badly in the comics, especially with World War II, where he told multiple people he's not Japanese. I'll put that in friendly terms.
Oh yeah. There's history's not kind to people.
Yeah.
No matter what your intention, it's not kind.
Yeah, it was
so societal norms.
Right. Yeah, it was multiple times too. So yeah, well, whatever you guys think Namor is, he was never that in the comics. But
yeah. So the movie's out next week. I'm excited for it as much as you can be for a movie about grief and saying goodbye to your
last thing I want to say for Benny is that it's kind of that, but it's also different reason why they're not going with Atlantis.
Yeah, because I know Coogler said about they wanted it to be completely different from Aquaman.
Yeah, it's because like there can be an Atlantis because there's a lot of different other underwater cities in the MCU all over the world. It's not just one, but yeah, it's kind of it's part of the point, but not the whole point.
So you just make it like have Atlantis be part of the kingdom, because obviously in the comics Namor has like the multiple kingdoms and stuff. Just have Atlantis be Lemuria and all that. Like Lemuria is way over there. Like you don't go to that point. Right?
And the only reason why I know Ricardo likes Namor is because he has like 20 women.
I thought you were gonna say he's got.
I didn't think about that, but I mean, cool.
and one of the like comments or like compliments Namor can give to a person, even a human, mutant, or superhuman, is that I respect him enough that I would take his woman. That's his compliment to them. That's literally
I don't see that being in the MCU. Maybe with Sue, maybe you get it the once, but I don't think you get that a lot.
How does this tie into Avatar 2? That's the real question. Can Namor fight the Navis?
What so you're saying is like it's like Namor, but he's alien on a different planet.
Oh,
I mean, hey, the Atlanteans is some blue. There's some of them are blue already. Don't let James Cameron know about this.
But remember, it's now Namor. It's not Namor.
Oh yeah, it's sexier now. You heard the way he pronounced it? I was like, Jesus Christ.
Namor.
They put an accent over the A. Okay, there you go. That's Namor.
Someone's gonna get
no way Sue Storm saying no to that now. No way Sue says no.